Hello and welcome to Virtual Cycling News, our new show that brings you all the latest news from around the RGT cycling scene whilst exploring some of the other virtual cycling platforms that are available on the market. I'm Mike Lister and this is my co-host Riley Harvey.
Hi everyone, we're going to be taking a look at the Westley Race series. We're also going to be taking a comparison look at the first stage of the Giro with RGT versus ITT. We have our feature Pain Cave of the Month, which features my Pain Cave, and we're also covering news from around the virtual world.
So first up in the news, we're going to reflect on the Mallorca 312 event that was held virtually on RGT this year. Last year's event was cancelled due to the COVID pandemic, and it was due to be held in April this year, but has been postponed again because of the pandemic until October. Now, using the Magic Roads ability on RGT, the company was able to reproduce all 312 kilometres of the route into a virtual setting. Now, some riders completed all 312 kilometres in a single ride that was held on one Saturday. I'm not sure I would have survived an entire day sat on the trainer. Luckily for the rest of us who weren't quite so crazy, we were able to complete 6 stages split up, and we had 2 weeks to do that, and we could pick and choose when we wanted to do so. The whole event concluded with a one-off intense race on the Capilmenta Real Road. That really was a epic ride.
The Mallorca 312 is definitely something I like to be doing myself in real life. You can't beat Mallorca with the sun beating down your back. But one of the most epic rides that's going to be happening this year on RGT is Kate Tillett's Trans-American Bike Race. She's going to be riding for 4,200 miles, all the way from one side of America to the other, in a period of hopefully 17 days, making her the fastest woman to complete the race and potentially the only woman to have done that on a turbo trainer. That's going to be something really epic.
Yes, that really is going to be an intense effort, and we're going to be catching up with Kate in the next episode of VCN. Now, RGT are known as being a fairly open company, and they do like to engage with the community. Recently, they posted a survey on the Facebook group. Now, Riley, I know you've had a chance to complete that survey. What did you make of it?
I thought it was a pretty straightforward, simple survey. There weren't many options for people to choose. It came down to something very simple for me. Do you want us to be more like Zwift, or do you want us to continue in the same vein? There's the options of things like a virtual pace partner, whether you wanted to have a ghost rider that you could set and chase your own personal bests, things like that. What did you think of it, Mike?
Yeah, they certainly seem to be asking questions about gamification and challenges. And I could see how the Ghost Rider could be a really useful tool, how you could set numerous times on a well-known route and test your fitness by chasing down your Ghost Rider several times. But I think all features are always going to be well received by some parts of the community, and other parts are going to say it's not for them. It's a wide-ranging program with lots of different features. Of course, we'll keep an eye out for all the latest updates, and we'll give you our feedback on those when they do drop.
We popped a link down below in the comments if you could head over to the survey, fill it out for yourselves, and then come back and give us your feedback, and we'll discuss them in the next show. With the conclusion of the Mallorca Real Roads 312 event, we're now moving on to the Elite 20 event, which is a remake of some of the historical Giro segments from history. These are roads that have been raced by some of the legends of the Giro, and it's now your chance to head over there and take on these roads.
Yeah, I had a chance myself to ride the Miguel Indurain Challenge Road. Now, I grew up learning more about the Tour de France rather than the Giro, so it was quite interesting to ride that route. And afterwards, I went away and had a little look on the internet to find out a little bit more information about why that particular route was so important and why it had been chosen for this Giro event. Now, talking about the Giro, that leads us nicely onto our next feature, RGT versus ITT. All right, here we are then, on the start line. Just about to get going. Got my webcam on so that you can see my suffering. Nice shot on my face there, so you should be able to see all of the expressions as I go through this individual time trial. So as we know, Felipe Ganna, he won the time trial in a time of 8 minutes 47. Now, I'm not going to get close to that. That was also a very impressive time. And you might not know this, but there's a 30% time limit cutoff that's added onto that time. So that puts the time limit at 11 minutes 25. So if I make it inside that time, I can go on for the rest of the Giro. If I don't, then I'm already out after stage one. So let's see how I get on. This early part of the course was actually quite nice. There's a little downhill here. You can see top right hand corner, negative 3.5%. So that got the speed up nice and early, up over 400 watts to get me up to speed. And we're just going to play it at a fast speed here. This is more like Felipe Ganna speed rather than Mike Lister speed here. This is 600% speeded up. So obviously don't want to watch me for the whole duration as I cruise around. But yeah, I was giving it full beans, trying to manage my effort to make sure that I wasn't going to blow up before the finish line. Now that's one of the good things about racing on RGT in a time trial, that it's very similar to riding in a real life time trial. Obviously I don't have to worry about air resistance or aerodynamics. I'm just on my bike in my garage, so I'm not worrying about that. So I've got a little benefit there. And the bike handling, not having to worry too much, but this was a fairly straightforward course, wasn't too many tight corners. So here I am coming through the halfway point then in 5 minutes 40. So at this point I was just about on course for meeting that time cutoff, although this was the easier part of the course. Already had a nice downhill earlier on, and here we are hitting the steepest parts of the course, 4.5% gradients. This little uphill, then swings back round on itself, loops over the course and then across the river and over to the other side for that drag up to the finish line. Now at this point, halfway through, 3.5 kilometers to go, starting to feel the burn in my legs a little bit, but I know that I'm on camera. I know that I was had a few fans out there who were watching the live stream when I did this, so they were motivating me, which was good, giving me a few words of encouragement in the live chat. And you can see that I've got my Southbourne District Wheelers jersey on, so shout out to Simon Miller for sending that on to me. That was very much appreciated. Check out the SDW Friday Frenzy races, they're good fun. So here I am, I'm just going up to the 10-minute mark. I've still got 1.2 kilometers to go. There's the Flamme Rouge, and it's on this fairly straight bit, so if you've got a good position on the TT bike, you really could have made some time. It's slightly rolling up and down, 1 or 2% gradient, and here we are then, the last 400 meters or so. You can see me rocking on the bike there. I'm not sure that's very good technique at all, but I'm digging deep. You can see me scrunching up my face, not really thinking about looking where I'm going. You're going to be wobbling all over the place there, but I managed to get my watts up, digging deep, 600, 700 watts there as I come up to the finish line. It is slightly uphill as well, really pushing. And there we are, across the line. In 11 minutes and 40, I collapsed on the handlebars. So just slightly outside the time cut, unfortunately. 11 minutes 25 was the target. So I won't be continuing on the Giro d'Italia. What a shame. So you can see just how good the pros are. So just to, again, put that into context, even though that was slightly outside the time cut, none of the pros were even close to that time cut. Luis Leon Sanchez was the so-called slowest pro on the day, and he was in about 10 minutes 37 seconds, so almost a minute inside the time cut. You can see me there really suffering on the right hand side. I did go deep at the end there to try and get across the line inside the time cut, but it wasn't quite enough. Some big breaths there. But yeah, there'll be more TT efforts to come, more comparison videos, and it just really shows how good those pros are.
I know you like to think you're a good rider, Mike, but that really did highlight the level that the pros are at. They absolutely smashed it. You did well, but you weren't close.
Yeah, I have no idea where I'd be able to find an extra 100 watts from in order to be able to compete with Felipe Ganna. That was just insane. Now, we've posted the Magic Roads code in the comments below, so if you do want to give it a go, then copy that, have a go, and let us know how you get on in the comments, and we'll try and feature some of your efforts next week.
You really did look like you were in a world of pain during that. And speaking of pain caves, we're going to take a tour of mine. So what's behind this door? Is it the pain cave of your dreams? The territory of the turbo? Nope. It is clutter. Lots and lots of clutter. Lots of bikes. Lots of your garden stuff. And bike bits. But the important part today is the turbo. This one's a Magene T300, which I picked up during the height of the pandemic, as I could get it direct shipped from the factory in China. Which has these funky lights underneath it. It's glowing red at the moment because it's not being used. And they show up what power zones you're in. And just on the floor there you can see the AMP Plus, which is how I usually connect to RGT, to the computer. All my software connects via that directly. A little bit of the bike storage there, all the bits. Makes me look organised at times. 50-inch plasma, picked up second hand, but it runs, works well. Nice bright picture. The all important fan. PC with a couple of speakers for rocking out the tunes. Just in the background there you can see the power plug net adapter. So that's my setup. Bit cluttered, bit ugly, but very functional.
Wow, that certainly looked like a messy space, Riley, but perhaps I shouldn't be too judgmental, because on the next episode I'll be giving you a tour around my pain cave. And we'd love to showcase some of your spaces as well. So if you've got a photo or a short video, drop it in the Facebook link below or via our Twitter feed, and we'll pick it up and we'll be showcasing them in the next episode.
When we're in our pain caves, we're partaking in meetups, races, or just taking a pootle on one of our favourite roads. Each episode we're going to be looking at a community run event, and this time around Mike's looking at the Westley Race Series.
The Westley Race Series is a well-known event that's run on the RGT platform. It's been running since early 2020, when Dave Morrison of the Westerley Cycling Club saw an opportunity to bring his real-world cycling buddies together into the virtual environment. The pandemic had meant that there was no longer the possibility to ride outside, and he still wanted to catch up with his cycling buddies on a weekly basis. The event itself is a 16-kilometre race that's run on a 2-week basis. And it uses routes around southwest London, where the Westerley Cycling Club is based. This provided great familiarity for the local riders, as they were riding on local routes and roads that they knew. For those of you not based in the UK, these routes are all around southwest London. So that's places like Heathrow Airport, very glamorous, Eton and Windsor, definitely glamorous, Richmond Park and the Surrey Hills. Now Dave organises these races by himself and also goes out before each race and films the real world route to give people a real idea of what the course looks like that they're going to be riding virtually. These races are great for beginners. They're generally pretty flat, not that long, like I say, just 16 kilometres. And there's normally a good turnout as well, so you can end up with a nice tow to the finish line. It's been known that there can be up to 50 riders finishing with just 2 seconds of each other, so it really is a mad dash to the line in that last 500 metres. I've participated in quite a few of these races, and they are very enjoyable, and I recommend them for beginners. Have you had a chance to go and ride in any of these, Riley?
I've not tried the Westley Races yet, but with a good toe and flat courses, they certainly sound like the race for someone of my stature. Whereabouts would I find information on it, Mike?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can find out information in a couple of places. First off is the rgtdb.com site. Now this site covers a wide range of events for RGT, and it's your go-to site if you're looking for results, upcoming races, and information on other series. But also Dave does a really good job at writing a race report for every event and giving preview information. And all of that can be found on the Westerley CC website. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in episode 1. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
Next time around, we'll be shining the spotlight on Lou Rick's community rides. We'll be checking in with Kate and seeing our progress on the Trans-American Bike Race. We'll have another RGT versus ITT, and we might be featuring your Pain Cave of the Month.
To find out when episode 2 drops, please follow us on either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and you'll get a notification of when episode 2 is live. Until then, goodbye and see you next time.
Keep safe, everyone. Until I see you next time, I'll catch you in the virtual.